Hi and welcome to Spiritualing the podcast, a podcast about how developing spiritual well-being can help you in your daily life and how that can enhance your confidence in who you are and what you are. The podcast is hosted by Ines and Tor. Ines is a development medium with over 30 years of experience in the field, and Tor has been an apprentice since 2013. In this episode, we are going to talk about the color band and chakra blue. You can support us by sharing the episode on your social media channels, subscribing to our podcast, and leaving a review. Remember, you can always find us on @spirituallingco on Instagram. Hi Ness, it's another Friday.
Another Friday. Yes, it is, Thor. Good to see you.
Good to
Very
see
good
you as well.
Thank you.
How's your week been?
It was very good. Thank you. Yeah. No complaints. I think we had a little chat, didn't we, before we began? And we are not in a war zone. Things may not be totally okay, but it's a hell of a lot better than a lot of other people. So it's a good week. Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you very
no,
much.
absolutely. I've been off my sort of part-time corporate job this week, so it's been quite nice to just be able to, spend more time meditating and doing that
Good.
kind of stuff, which has been absolutely lovely.
Good.
And
Well,
it's
that's
just
good.
been so great to hear some of the feedback that we've received, on the episodes that we've been doing over the couple of weeks on the colors. People are finding that
Yes.
quite interesting. Today we're heading into blue, right?
Yes, we are, and it's very, very interesting. Of course, we're talking about colors in particular, but we're also talking, of course, the color bands, which is the same. We're talking about chakrams, which are exactly the same as well. And perhaps a listener might think, well, so what if we concentrate on a color? But the chakrams, which are color based, all of them are color based, of course. It is the wheel of life, and the spokes within this wheel are our chakrams, and these spokes can become damaged or broken, even literally through the bumps of life. And that is what we are trying to not trying, but that is what we're able to correct. We're able to mend to a certain degree. It is self-help. It is self-help on a very practical level as well. It is also self-help. Let us say it is called you're healing yourself. The energy that is with every human being, that energy we are using to rejuvenate, to brighten, or to dampen each particular color. So the colors are very, very important. Everything is related to color, because color, again, I'm repeating myself, is the universal situation of communication. So the importance of color, as I just mentioned, is we see color either physically or with the third eye, which is, of course, the center of the forehead, or we also see it within the mind. But we can also smell it. We can feel it sometimes. It's an intuitive situation, but it goes into the retina of the eye, and it then into the retina of the eye, and then into the mind. It is not our physical mind that actually recognizes color. It's the spiritual part of ourselves which recognizes the color. So as I said, it is the spiritual part of our mind that reacts to color. But it's not only just the mind, it's also a psychological effect that color has on each and everybody's mind. Everyone will see color very differently. It is, if we have a red color, and you have that piece of red color in front of you, you can have 10 people, and if there was a machine able to monitor how and what we see, every mind will react slightly differently to color. So if I say to you, I think you need the color of blue, that is what we're talking about. Perhaps you will say, well, I'm sorry, but I need the color of green, actually. It does not matter what each of us thinks. If you are giving color, then the blue or the green to the personality, that color will find its own level. It will automatically go to that area that is needful. It only applies to the color recognition of that individual, but it will find its own level. So as we said, everyone sees it differently. And if we see it differently, again, be yourself, trust yourself, because that color, that energy that you're giving to yourself or to someone else will find the correct level that it is needed. Not only does the color, as it hits, say, the eye, it goes into the mind. It hits that part of the mind which is the autonomous part within the body, meaning I believe it is something like 85% of the body is autonomous. We do not think of blinking our eye. That is autonomous. It happens. Our hair grows. That happens. And it is that part which is the other part of our nervous system. And this other part of our nervous system, we can call it an awareness of the non-aware. And these two parts, the physical and the spiritual, not to confuse you even more, come very close together. And when one area works with the other area, that is when the true realization of color and many other things come together, because that part of the mind then understands it. And this understanding is not only hypothetical, it will also reflect in your own thinking. It's a deeper sense of understanding, which perhaps we're not always able to relate to somebody else, but you know it is correct. You have that feeling. So immediately, a color, take blue, hits the awareness of the non-aware. Replenishment automatically takes place within the body. The important thing is to remember that with color as well, we're talking about a very important area. The important thing is some colors possibly can prevent future illnesses from coming forward. Mainly because if you see a color, you can see within the color spectrum, which of course is the aura, of what is the weakest. And again, the aura is like the rainbow around the earth. If a psychic, you do not need mediumship to read a rainbow or an aura. You can see very much what is weak in the earth itself. And that is also applicable to an aura reading. So when we're talking of color, we initially began with you being able to feel moving up your chakrams, to feel which color band, or which chakram you felt was needed replenishing. So it is exactly the same if it is the aura. No difference. One, you're using your hand. Perhaps you are already using a crystal, which would amplify. All of that is very much the same. So we were talking about either feeling the chakrams yourself, reading an aura. You're still getting the vibrations of the body. It doesn't make any difference. At the outset of today's podcast, I said all communication, all direction come through the basis of the sun. The color schemes which bring forward the power of the truth also come from the sun. Truth, of course, is the spiritual knowledge that we all have within ourselves. All of that is here for our benefit. And how does it work? The power of the sun in this galaxy was put here to break into the color schemes that we know of, the 7 colors, let's say. And of course, that is the basis, as I said just now, of all communication and all direction that comes not via the sun, but because of the sun, because of this color scheming around the earth, the color scheming within the earth. And of course, the color scheming around every individual, every flower, every tree, every hill, every little animal, everything that inhabits the earth. It is another form of communication, and from that communication, I think it recognizing color. I mentioned to see with the third eye, the inner eye, but of course it also becomes a sound as well. Many composers, I said a couple of weeks ago, you can hear sound as well. Go with it, go with the flow. To understand or to be aware of your own colors opens up many doors of information about yourself, the quality of yourself, the quality of bringing your life forward to the best of your ability. On that note, all I wanted to say again, color is life, color is vitality. So with that little pep talk, I'm going to move forward with a very modest explanation of blue, to introduce you to blue, the wonderful color of blue, of course, which is, and we're moving up, it is also called the higher body. Again, any information that you might be interested in, please let us know. So with blue, of course, before I start on that blue, what I also wanted to say, when we're talking about the colors and the chakrams, we are also all a color, we are also prone to a certain color as well. We are, let us say, a subject. We can be a blue subject, a red subject, all of the colors is subject. And of course, that subject is a little bit like astrology, not astrology, it's like a Virgo chart or something. You could be a Taurus or something, and you can have one reading for that particular star sign. So with color, it is the modification of the different hues of any color. So maybe you're a red, but then there can be a smattering of green with it, a little bit of yellow, a light or a dark. So we can also be a subject. If a person is a subject, a blue, they could be prone to epileptic fits, a weak chest, congestion, of course, of the chest. It covers the area of the throat, tongue, tonsils, that sort of an area. Droopy eyes, sort of a very wan, lassitude type of complexion. Also problems around the bowels, the colon, even tendency for fever, depression as well, also headaches. Now then, this area, and then I will go into the curative properties as well. The area, so if you are on your blue chakra and you're trying to feel what it is like in a calm environment, let us see, if your blue is in balance, you're able to express yourself easily and very effectively. Remember, what we're saying is very vague, absolutely vague. When that blue is weak, for example, you have a constrained voice. You dislike confrontation. It's also a mindset as well. You have a sore mouth, throat, blocked sinuses, you're stiff neck, not because you've been doing too many exercises. You're tight, you're tense. And if it's overdeveloped, meaning the blue is too bright, over loud, never stop talking, nagging type of an attitude as well. Of course, we're also getting into areas personality as well, right? With a blue as well. So though that is a blue subject, are some of the things that it might be prone to. Some of the things. Now, what blue can help with, of course, it can help with the throat, so on and so forth. But blue heals and deals with much of the body, and also congestion and all manner of things. As I just said, it can help the chest, the bowels, of course, throat, tongue, all things in that area. It can also help with the voice, epilepsy, as it calms. But sometimes if color is overemphasizes, sometimes needs a little bit of a balance, such as red. The colors, when we're talking of colors in our context at this moment, are simply what needs to be revived within oneself. If we take blue and red as an example, are two predominant situations of color, and therefore it can create a more balanced effect. If you're using a lot of one color, only ever use it for, say, a week. And that applies not only the color you're drawing into yourself, but also imbibing, such as in food as well. If we're talking about a blue subject, as I mentioned at the beginning, such as droopy, lassitude, depressed sort of a situation, you want to give the person a pint of blood, and that color, of course, is red. So a little bit of red would go a long way. The blue can help and calm nerves, stresses. It reduces blood pressure. It can also help reduce high heart rate. It helps the thyroid, important, the body clock. So this blue is very, very important. So the thyroid and the body clock control most of the body. So if it is too low, of course, you feel sluggish. And if it is too high, you're like a little whirlwind as well. So the body clock is part of the blue. So if it is low and you feel those things, revive it, bring up that blue color. If it is too fast and you talk, you nag, you chat a lot, reduce it. And the reduction, of course, will be, what color do you feel? It could be a little bit of green, perhaps, a little bit of yellow, perhaps, as well. But blue is also very much an antiseptic color. Not like the antiseptic you would put on a cut, but it is antiseptic for the whole of the body. Very, very important. And it can actually, the wonderful blue can actually help an awful lot of things that go wrong within our body because of this antiseptic situation. With saying it is antiseptic as well, if we have a fever and all the feelings that go with it, including cholera, all of those would be a blue subject. So either the blue needs a little bit replenishing or to calm. A fever, of course, you would calm, would you not? When I said about talking too much initially, when it is not balanced, if it is too active, the blue, such as talking too much, nagging, meaning overdevelop what I said as well. This also applies to listening, the ability not only to listen to others, but also to yourself. And when that is, when the chakra is balanced, again at a right level of blue, let us say, you feel in harmony with yourself. You feel good about yourself. You don't quite know why, because physically maybe nothing has changed, but it's your whole attitude that has changed. Sometimes what I have also heard that individuals say about linking all the chakrams together so that they work together, because they do work together. What we are doing, you are linking the chakrams together. Through our meditation, you are balancing the chakrams on a daily basis. Through our meditation, you're also grounding yourself. We take one item at a time for understanding, so that you also have the ability to question and to move forward in your own thoughts in accordance to what you want to do. So the blue today is one of calmness. It is wonderful to meditate into blue. It is wonderful to meditate into the indigo or violet. Either way, they're both very wonderful, calming, strong colors. But very important, the blue, one of the most important chakrams because of the thyroid and the body clock. Very, very important. So on that message, actually, I would like to just end our podcast because there is so much more information. We're giving you a small area to work with for your benefit. It is when I said about the fever and so on, this is not a COVID situation that you can cure your own COVID-19. It just helps life. It helps your mind. It helps your attitude. Strong mind, strong attitude. You can accomplish anything. And to remember, enjoy who you are, what you have at any given time. And thank you for listening and hope to hear from you.
Thank you for listening to this episode about the color band and chakra blue. If you have any questions, comments, or wants us to explore a topic even further, please reach out on our Instagram account @spirituallinkco.